Hi there, how are you? I hope you're doing well and keeping busy, and not getting too overwhelmed by all of that content, helpful or otherwise. Hope you're not being too overwhelmed by it. I just wanted to check in with you to see how you're getting on, and also to find out if you've had time to think about what you want to work on over these weeks and months potentially of this lockdown. What goals have you set yourself, and achievable, realistic goals based on your personal circumstances. We all have a tendency to compare ourselves with others, and there are plenty of people online who are doing amazing stuff, and getting loads of content out there, still winning big deals and so on. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. You work out what you want to achieve, you work out what's right for you, and focus on that. I know that's what I'm doing. I spent all day yesterday just really getting my head around exactly how I wanted the next 3 months to play out, the goals I've set myself, what I want to achieve and deliver, and get out into the world. Do the same for yourself, and make sure it's personal to you. If you have had that time to do that, and you've decided that one of the things that you want to focus on is crisis proofing your business, by putting the essential systems in place, then obviously you're in the right place with me, and I'll be delighted to work with you over the coming weeks and months, through videos, through Facebook Lives, through YouTube, through articles, to give you the information that you need in order to do the work that you need to do. And really, when I'm talking about systems, I'm talking about the 7 business critical systems. And I've put a PDF in the comments that shows you exactly what I'm talking about. So it starts at the base, it starts with your customer experience system. And I've already been talking about the importance right now of revisiting your customer journey and looking at what can stay the same, but what needs to change. And it's really important that you get your head around that now, particularly if you're still operating, if you still have a team that are not furloughed, that are working with you, working out what that new customer journey looks like, and then for every task along that journey, working out that one right way to do it. And we've already talked about that in previous videos. So that really is your customer experience system. What the experience that customer is getting every time they journey through your business, and the experience that your team are giving them through the tasks that they do along that journey. So your customer experience system is the base. That's like it's like the beginning of everything. The next system is your team building system, and that's not your rah rah rah. Let's have a team building exercise. That's all about the people that you have around you in your team. And I've said in a previous video, you're going to find a lot out about your team over these next weeks and months. And when you come back, you're also going to find out, for example, those on furlough, what have they done to make really good use of that time? You're going to find out an awful lot about them. But your team building systems are really your hiring system, your probation system, making sure that they are absolutely watertight, that you hire the right people first time, that you don't let anybody that has slipped through the hiring net slip through the probation net into your team. I was just talking to somebody just the other day who has somebody that's been with them 4 years, never been right. They've really struggled with them, and they're now struggling because they've got to go through the whole performance management system to get them out. So if you've got an existing team, it's about assessing who you have, what their potential is in terms of growth and development, and what they could learn within your business, and also their performance. How well are they already performing? So that's your team building system. The next system is your team development, and that really looks at taking all of the tasks that you have created, the one right way that you've created in your customer experience system, and making sure that all of your team are trained to follow that one right way. Making sure that they all understand that this is the way we do things around here. This is the one right way to do this task and this task and this task. And I've introduced to our team a team training map, and it's certainly something that that when I've done these sessions, I want people to develop for themselves a team training map. It's a simple spreadsheet. Over the course of the next weeks and months, I'll share the template with you happily. Simple spreadsheet that looks at what you want everybody to understand in their first week in your business, then what you want individual roles or people, if you're a small team, to understand in their first 90 days, how to do what. They need to know how to X, they need to know how to Y in their first 90 days before they pass their probation. And then what do you want them to learn in their first year and beyond? So the team training map's really important. Being able to track your training is also important, and I'll share with you how best to do that. Team training map, team track. Obviously, using your how-to guides, your video-based how-to guides, hopefully, to train your people, particularly when we're remote. Those video-based how-to guides are going to be absolutely gold dust. They're going to be essential for you and for your team. And then also in terms of team development, it's your performance management system. And I know for a lot of people who are working with a remote team for the first time and who've been used to managing by visibility, I can see that they're working. Well, you can see that they're sitting at a desk. You've never really been able to see that they're working unless you stood over their shoulder the whole time. I know, back in the day in corporate, you were a hard worker if you got in early and stayed late. Didn't matter to a certain extent with some managers whether you were really good at your job or not, as long as you were there a long time. Obviously now everybody's working so flexibly. We've got people who are having to work very early in the morning before the children get out of bed, or having to work really late at night after they've gone to bed. And chunking their day so that they can still play with the kids or whatever, go and walk the dog, whatever they need to do. So our day as a business is much longer now. So we have to make sure that we are performance managing based on results. So take this time, we'll talk about this more, but take this time to think about what specifically you can measure somebody's performance on. What do you want them to deliver for you, and what does that look like? Is it in terms of a time frame? Is it quality? Is it a combination of those things? Do you want them to make 10 calls in a day, which is obviously easier to measure? So you really need to think about this measurement by results now. It's always, to be honest, it's always been the way to performance manage an individual, but it's essential now because everybody is remote. So we have our customer experience system, our team building system, our team development system, and the fourth real foundation system. There are four absolute essential foundations. The fourth one is rhythm and routine. And never has rhythm and routine been more important than it is now. And by rhythm, I'm talking about your planning system. For me, is the thing that gives you rhythm. The setting of 90-day goals that is constant. Plan, do, review. Plan, do, review. It builds just this rhythm of continuous improvement. And it's something that McDonald's always have focused on, have always done brilliantly. Bringing people together every 90 days. Let's look at how we've done. Let's look at where we're going. And let's celebrate any wins, and then let's crack on with the next 90 days. Obviously, at the moment, we are planning for much shorter periods because things are becoming more the norm now. We've got the norm of lockdown, but we don't know how long that's going to last. So we are tending to plan week to week, and that's fine. We can still set our goals for what we want to achieve in lockdown, but actually, if we're working with a team, it will tend to be week to week. What's happening? Okay, but the rhythm remains the same. Plan, do, review. Plan, do, review. With routine, I have talked about this before, but having a daily huddle, creating routine for your team, so that with the day being all over the place, with kids at home and cats walking across keyboards in meetings and all sorts of crazy things happening, having a routine is really important. So we meet on Zoom every day, 10 o'clock, whatever it might be. We talk about what we're going to be doing for the rest of the day. We check in, make sure everybody's okay. Brilliant way for just getting that routine going. And I know that those who have always worked with daily huddles, or who've introduced them in the last year or so, they're now benefiting from that, because it's simply, they used to have a stand-up huddle in their office. They're now just jumping on Zoom and having exactly the same huddle online. Dead easy to set up. Brilliant for your team in terms of morale, engagement, keeping them on the ball if you've got work for them to do, just it's a great way to keep your team engaged. Great way to keep you engaged as well. Good reason to get out of your pajamas, maybe. So rhythm and routine are massive. Meetings, regular meetings, daily, weekly, monthly, your 90-day planning meeting, they are really good for having that rhythm and routine. Build a rhythm in a business. Anybody that's read Scaling Up by Vern Harnish, he talks a lot about rhythm. A great book. If you haven't read it, go read it. It's a good one. I'm not sure it's on Audible, but anyway, you'll find it. So there are your 4 foundation systems. Then you've got your 2 growth systems. Your systemized sales. So what are you doing? What can you put in place now so that when everything starts to the shoots start to come through, that you are ready, that you are ready to go, because this is, it's going to be massive. They're talking about what an amazing year of sport we're going to have in 2021. It's going to be fantastic for the businesses that put these foundations in place now and are just ready to burst into life. So towards the end of April, beginning of May, I imagine there are going to be an awful lot of you who are starting to get re-energize your revenue streams as the money starts to flow through from the government. People aren't so worried about the long-term effects on their business. People will start to spend because they want to be ready for when the business is really there. So if they've set themselves a goal to work on the area that you are the expert in, then they're going to come to you to help them. So you're getting your sales systemized, being clear about how you want to build your campaigns, how many calls you want either to make yourself or to get your team to make, what that looks like in terms of conversions and so on, what it needs to look like. Taking the time to get clear about that now. So your systemized sales, and then your money in, money out systems. understanding. I guess, I guess at the moment we've all got much better at our money in, money out systems because, we are so focused on one, where the money's coming from, the expenses that we've got that perhaps we need to pause um, or not, or keep them in place because they're going to help us to regenerate. But we've all taken the time to really focus in on our on what's coming in and also what's going out. What we want to do is make sure that we systemize that so that when everything in the garden's rosy, we are still focused on those things. Look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves. And I'm not sure, I'm not the only person whose dad rammed that into them. Money and money out systems actually do tend to be forgotten. I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of business owners that I've worked with focus on revenue, and as long as the revenue is fine and they've got enough money to pay their bills, then actually they don't really worry about the detail too much. So with the money and money out systems, we don't want you to worry. We want you to set systems in place so that you've got everything covered. You understand your critical performance indicators as well as everybody's got whole rafts of key performance indicators. What are the really critical performance indicators? Those 4, 5 or 6 things that are absolutely crucial, that tell you whether your business is flying or failing. So understanding those now, looking after those now, setting systems in place now is going to help you further down the line. So they were your 2 growth systems: systemized sales, money in, money out. And then right at the top of the pyramid, I keep going like this because it is actually a pyramid. Right at the top of the pyramid is you and your personal management system and personal development systems. And really, this is the time where that peak is being looked at possibly more than any of the others. You're probably, I hope you're already putting things in place to protect your headspace, to protect your time and energy, to stop yourself getting overwhelmed. And that's really what the personal management system is all about. It's about putting strategies in place to control how you work with your inbox. That it's not the very first thing you leap into and then lose the whole day because you found something in there that distracted you. How you teach your team to work with you, so that they aren't interrupting you whenever they want. There are times in the day that you set aside for them to come to you with problems and solutions to their problems, and so on. That's your personal management system. And then there's your personal development system, is really about how are you sharpening the saw? What are you doing to develop yourself? And again, I'm sure that as part of your goal setting for this lockdown period, you will have put things, set goals for yourself to master something, to get your head round a piece of software that's just been bugging you because you've been, flitting around the edges but never quite getting there. Definitely, I've set myself a couple of goals related to that. So really, they are your 7 business critical systems, and as I say, we're going to be looking at different elements of that over the next weeks and months. I'm not going to put something there every day, because that just would be, what's the point? You don't have time then to go and work on it. But every few days, I'll post a video, and I've bought myself an iPad Pro, and I'm going to try and link it up to video so that I can draw you diagrams. Yeah, there you go. There's a new skill I'm teaching myself. I've seen others do it so well, so my drawing isn't the best. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Great. So the PDF of the seven critical systems is in the comments. Before we get started, though, one thing I really want you to do to find out exactly where you're at and what you need to prioritize on, I want you to take the business efficiency test. It's our scorecard, and it'll tell you where you're at with certainly with the 4 foundations. And make it really clear to you what you need to prioritize in terms of what you've already got in place, how effective it is, how good it is. You'll get a full report at the end of it that'll tell you what you need to focus on. Be great for me to see how well you have set up your systems in your business so far, and what you need to work on. It'd be good for me to know what to focus on more. Happy to receive any comments or specific questions. You know where I am. I'm online at on Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. Can't even speak now. Marianne Page Limited or Marianne Page. My mugshot is on most things, so if you recognise me, you're in the right place. And obviously, feel free to comment on the videos and put any questions in there. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be. I know it's terrible. I'm not. Please trust me. I'm not minimizing the seriousness of what's going on out there. And bless all those who are either suffering or have lost somebody. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I really want you to stay focused and positive about your business, and to really make good use of this time. So if you're going to be working with me, fantastic. I really look forward to it, and I'll see you next time. Take the bet. A link is in the comments. Okay, see you soon. Take care. Bye.